think of, when you hear mental health, that's something that's been really shunned in the African and Caribbean community. Why do you think that is? I mean, it's something I find very annoying, but then it's a very touchy subject for some people.
Every time it's brought up, you hear them like, "Oh, that's white people stuff." Like, no, mental health does not have a race.
It's
so we need to talk about it. It's important.
Yeah, for sure.
It's something that affects millions of people, man.
That's what I'm saying, because mental health is if you actually think about it, mental health is something that is basically part of you. I mean, it's just the way you, like, in the same way you can get physically ill, you can also get mentally ill. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't discriminate. It can attack anyone at any age. Your parents can go through it. Your brothers can go through it. You know, anyone in your family can go through it at any stage of their life. You know, because even like a woman after they give birth, they can even have postpartum depression, stuff like that. Are really alive. Much well alive.
Yeah.
In the same way, even university students can go through just typical depression at uni because you're just overwhelmed with work. It's hard to put two and two together. And the problem is that, with black people, we always forced to think that we are strong enough to make it through anything. But really and truly, we're just weak like anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. We're just human beings like everyone else. It makes it even harder for us to sit down every time. Like, imagine a man or a woman coming back from work. They sit down. It's a stressful day. It's not going as they're supposed. It's not going as they wanted it to go, and they have to keep telling themselves that I have to be strong. I have to be strong for so many reasons that do not relate to me. If you get what I'm saying. So many reasons that people make up. People just make up because you're seen as a strong, independent race. When we're just people trying to get by like everyone else. If someone comes out as strong, then like, good for him. That this guy is trying to keep his emotions to himself. This girl is trying to show you that she can persevere, and perseverance is something that everyone can do. So why is it so hard for people to understand that mental illness is something that everyone can go through?
I feel like our stress is kind of normalized. Like, as a race, we've already been through so much trauma, slavery, colonization, all that stuff. Being told where to go, where you can and can't work, all that stuff. Like, our stress is just so accepted at this point that it doesn't seem like it's something that we need to get help for.
Yeah, that's
the idea that like black men who will work like 12-hour shifts and go to another job is just something that happens. That shouldn't be the case. The amount of stress and the amount of toll that would take on the person's mental health, of course they would need to go see a therapist or a counselor or something like that. But no, shrug it off like, nah, he's hustling.
Yeah, that's true.
I really agree, because I think it's also like a generational thing. It's like stress can be passed upon generation, but I'm not saying it's going to be in your DNA or in your genes, but it's more like you get passed down by each household because we all go through the same struggle. Yeah, the struggles get passed on and on. Because like in the same way our parents suffered, we have to suffer in the same way. And it's just a cycle. And we can't even if we both with like a silver spoon in our mouth, you'll never, like, you might not be able to escape from it, because like it can still attack you at any time in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing I would say is like, especially us that we're black, I probably think it's a generational thing, because like she was saying, slavery basically installed in our brain that we are kind of inferior, so we have to work harder more than anyone else to make it far. Because in the same way, even like all of us have been brought up in a household, by parents saying like, oh, you have to go to school, you have to study really hard, because you are basically lacking more opportunities more than any other race. And even that is already going to install in your head that you have to work harder than everyone else. And so even if you start complaining about how hard things are getting, that's just life, because that's what you're meant to do, or you will not make in life. So it's really kind of, it's really hard for everyone, to be honest.
Yeah, really tough.
Yeah, you want to say
really
something?
Tough. No, I was just gonna. They've already said mostly what of everything I was gonna say, but it's just the fact that with mental illness, we can't forget that it affects anyone from all walks of life. You know, you can be the most rich, the most wealthiest person in the world. You can be the most poor person in the world. You can still experience all kinds of mental. Sorry, I don't know if you saw that. You can still experience all kinds of levels of extreme mental issues and mental battles. And, you know, I feel like another thing is a lot of people think that because they're depressed, they think certain things like materialistic or money can alleviate that depression or take away it completely. I feel like with money gives you the illusion of happiness. It doesn't like take away depression, whatever kind of thing. You need to find other things within yourself to allow you to really try and look at self-discovery and really try and find a way to just try and decapacitate depression, you know, for you. Because I feel like for me, a lot of people say there's no cure for depression, there's no cure for anxiety, there's no cure for all kinds of things. But I feel like, honestly, I feel like there is. It's just everything's all up in here kind of thing. And sometimes
it's all up in your mental state.
It's all up in your mental state, exactly. It's all up in here. So it doesn't help when you tell yourself you can't do something and you can't do this, you can't do that, even though you're experiencing depression of the highest degree and the anxiety of the highest degree, whatever. Yeah. You know, it doesn't help when you contribute to that factor and say, you know what, I've got depression, but I know I can't cure it. You can't tell yourself that. If you're really willing and determined to do something about it, then you will do something about it. You will tell yourself, yeah, you know, I can cure this for myself. My life will be better. In the future, I will have a family. I will be successful. I will be prosperous, you know? So, yeah, I feel like depression is something that you can definitely cure. Anxiety can be something that you can definitely cure as well. But even though everyone can experience it at any point in life.
Well, how do you cure that, yeah? How do you cure that
I have depression. I'm comfortable talking about my mental health because, like, the way that depression thrives is when you deny it and when you kind of reject that experience. And depression isn't one of those, yep, I could just be fine. I'm good. Let's go. You kind of have to just keep talking it through. And every day you have to work through it a little bit. And you'll have a different challenge every day you wake up. Sometimes it's you don't want to get out of bed. Sometimes you don't want to go bathe. Sometimes you don't want to see anybody. And it works when you isolate yourself. And in the Black community, when we don't talk about it, we pretty much force people to isolate it already. The second that you don't allow people the room to say, hey, this is a problem that I'm having, I don't feel good. And you say, hey, you're just going to have to walk it off, friend. It kind of makes it a lot harder to manage, a lot more difficult to deal with. Like, no shade or anything. It's just, I've heard this mindset about it before, and I think that's kind of part of the problem, that we don't understand it.
In terms
we
of,
don't talk about it.
Yeah, true. In terms of like understanding it, I find it hard to, not for me to understand it, but I find it hard to actually believe that this thing can be cured that easily, as Lionel put it, because we all come from an African / Caribbean background. We have parents, we have friends. We've seen the way some people's parents speak to their children as though their kids are some kind of superheroes or superhuman beings that can achieve anything if they sit down and study and show all signs of seriousness. But there are times that you need your parents to understand that sometimes you just get distracted. Sometimes I get distracted. You're not going, and at that moment you get distracted, it's not supposed to be, oh, why are you getting distracted? Oh, you're not being serious. Oh, I didn't send you there to get distracted. If you get what I'm saying, that's where
I might have ADHD. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's
sometimes they won't even take you to the doctor to actually get evaluated. You know?
Yeah,
they don't think those things are real.
Exactly. I don't think it's about spirits. You got spirits?
Yeah,
you're a demon.
And it's like before even thinking of taking your child to a doctor, I mean, the first person your child should actually see as a doctor in phrase is your parents. I mean, your parents should be able to speak to you. I mean, in that early stage of depression, I don't think I've ever had, well, I may not know, but I don't think I've ever been truly depressed in a sense. But so I don't understand it completely. Probably also because of the background I'm coming from. I'm coming from a background, not from my family, but I live in a society where all those things are seen as, oh, go read your Bible, oh, go pray, oh, you're not serious, oh, you're being a baby, oh, what are you saying? Those things don't make sense. That kind of thing. You go to a secondary school where you see different people living different lives from you, but not 100% different, in the sense where you come to the UK or the US or Canada and you see different people. And when I say different, I say they're the same skin color, but this man is different from you by a long shot. So you got so many parts to it. And if you can't solve something at home, you're not gonna find. It's gonna be very far. I'm just gonna say it's gonna be very hard to find that solution outside that home or outside that society, unless you can actually make the new society your home. And it's not even, to me, I don't think it's really just your battle. At moments like that, friends, like your friends should be able to stand up, and even if just asking, hey, what's wrong, if the person is not able to speak up at that moment, give them this kind of leeway in the sense that you're still there for them. So like, you're not leaving them and like, oh, this man's not serious, you know what, allow it, man. But like, oh yeah, let me give my boy some time, let me give my girl some time, let's see how we can work this out gradually. And if it doesn't work out in time, I mean, you're not just gonna give up straight away. If you just give up, then what's the point in asking the first time? That's crazy. It's a big thing.
It's good to have people, even if you are going through mental illness or anything that's affecting you to a really severe level, it's always good to have people around you that really care about you and are able to notice these things and notice that you're out of character and you're not the way you usually are, whatever kind of thing. They've never seen you like that, so they point it out to you and they will reach out to you, because sometimes when you're going through those kind of things, you don't feel the confidence to tell people, you know, because you just feel like some people have many reasons as to why they don't want to talk to people about it. Maybe they'll be like, you know what, I'm going to be a nuisance to other people. They're not going to really care. They don't understand, stuff like that. There's just so many reasons. But as long as you have a good support system that people can actually come up to you, be like, you know what, like, what's going on with you today? Like, are you okay? What's happening? You know, talk to me. And if you ever need anything, talk to me, call me, text me, anything. I'm always here for you. It's always good to have people like that.
Yeah, like having people who will listen makes a whole world of difference. Like, I was blessed enough to have my mom who very much took my mental health seriously. And so when I brought it to her, she was just like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's go see a doctor and see what we can do. But I remember when I was in high school, we had like this big epidemic of girls self-harming. And instead of... instead of like actually trying to counsel them, they used to get in trouble. Like, they would tell their parents that they would get like teachers like watching them, inspecting their bodies. Like, it was just handled so wrong that at that point we just stopped trusting them to discuss our mental health. So people went through so much and didn't say anything, because instead of it being something that they thought they could help you through or handled a little bit with just a little more care, they took it and kind of demonized them. Like, if you're self-harming, there's something wrong with you. Like, no, I'm feeling pain and this is a pain I can control, so I'm expressing it this way. Help me manage my emotional pain, my emotional distress in a more healthy way.
Yeah,
exactly. And I really think that,
let's not even talk about them forcing them to pray. Like that was
sometimes with prayer. I mean, I will still say that prayer is always a good option. Like talking to God sometimes is always a good option. But then when you're in a low state of mind, where you're already telling yourself that nobody probably cares about what I'm going through, you're not gonna start thinking about what God what God thinks, or whether God's thinking about you, which is sad sometimes. Not sad because they have refused to talk to God, but sad because they probably don't know how to go about it. If you have a best friend that you cannot explain your depression to because you're afraid, how so a God that you've been taught through all your life that he can take your life away in one swoop, the creator of all universes or things like that? It's all in the state of mind. So when you're trying to force someone to go into particular levels of whatever, be it prayer, be it whatever it is, man, you can't expect it. You can't expect everything to be so instant. Like oh, go take paracetamol, go lie down, you'll be good. It's more complex than that.
It's not just a headache, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna finish off that point with the African Parenting Society kind of thing. It's not really like every African or Caribbean parent reacts that way, but then that's what it's perceived through the stereotype of being strong and being resilient and being able to withstand anything. So when the society, when your first ever society, being your family, is telling you, oh, be strong, oh, what are you doing, oh, is that I didn't raise you up like that, you're literally breaking them down before they can start building themselves up.
That's true. And that's the thing. I think that when it comes to like mental health in general, it's really subjective, because like a person can be depressed from, like, you know, loads of different things, you know. There's some things that even if I speak out to a friend, if they can find it really silly, like a person can really be depressed just because they probably just lost their phone, and another person might not even care. You get me? It's just like small things, can really just make, you know, someone think differently about, you know, the world in general.
Yeah, people react differently.
So when it comes to even how to cure it, you know, there's so many different ways. A person might have to go through like deep rehabilitation, as in, you know, go and seek a doctor or speak to like someone that could actually help you. But there's some people that can actually deal with it in other different ways, you know. It could be by reading, by, you know, playing video games, watching movies, you know, because it takes your mind off things. Yeah. And it could also kind of relax you in a way. But, you know, there's some other people that really go to the extent where, you know, they start doing self-harm. And it's really crazy because, let's say even relationships, like most people when they break up, obviously everyone goes that phase where, you know, they might be a bit down, or, you know, their self-esteem is kind of low. But there's some people who take it to a point where they might even think about, you know, self-harming, or even worse, suicide. And that really comes from the fact that, you know, in the environment that we've been raised, it's been a thing that, like, it's never been, I don't know how to explain it, but it's really hard.
It's called, like, take your time.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. When it comes to self-harming and suicide, it's a really sensitive topic. Because, like, you know, a lot of people be like, oh my God, I never knew my daughter could do such a thing, or my son could do such a thing. But
because you don't talk to them. You don't talk to them.
The communication is not there.
There is no communication between you and your child.
Exactly.
Or your communication isn't talking about that properly. Like, had a friend of mine talk to her mom about it, and her mom said, what you stressed for? I pay all the bills.
Raw.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, I'll probably say even stress. Stress can also lead you to so many things. And I'll probably say that even social media in general, just actually put a lot of stress upon the youth. Because let's think about, you know, capitalism and, you know, materialism in general. It's like you always have to, you know, look a certain way to feel accepted by your group of people. Like, you have to dress a certain way, you have to act a certain way, you have to talk a certain way. And it's crazy because I've seen so many people like working their ass off just to accomplish a goal that was never their goal, but just like, you know, goal by society. Like,
a society
you know, like
goal.
let's say even an example with social media in general. It's like it forces you to a point where you have to act like a different person, but you can't really be yourself. In a way, you have to just go crazy about things, you know. Like you have to take relationships just the way social media tells you, like, and you basically gonna lose yourself over time, and like you're really gonna lose your own identity, and it's really sad. But it really happens within society because social media literally just kind of brainwashes you to the point where you're gonna start stressing.
You think everybody knows it's naturally really shiny.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have to stress yourself because I have to buy the latest Jordan, so I have to stress myself because I have to drive like a BMW X5 or something like that. Yeah. When you can really be happy with a small car.
Or buy your own house by 24.
Yeah, everything is so forced.
Yeah, it's like it's really forced, but it's really sad because the thing here, when it comes to human nature, being accepted by your own kind is probably one of the greatest way to feel gratified in a way, you know, self-gratification. Because obviously if you're never accepted by society, you're gonna feel accosted and you're gonna probably feel worse. So you're gonna take it out, I don't know, just take it out the normal way and just, you know, try and please as much people as you can so that you could at least feel accepted. And it's really sad because you lose yourself completely.
That would be mad. Trying to follow what you see on social media can make people crazy because it makes people feel like they need to constantly compare themselves because if they're not in a position where like they look at, let's say for example, they see an IG model, you know, she's looking nice or whatever kind of thing, and the girl compares herself to the girl who's a model, and she says, okay, why am I not like this? Why don't I have curves like this? Why does my face look like this?
Yeah.
Things. And that's when you fall into deep depression because the more like a lot of the time you see these kind of things, the more you fall into this kind of trap. And social media marketers, whatever kind of thing, they get paid to try and keep you invested in those kind of apps so that you constantly see their content because they only care about, you know, what they get out of it. They only care about how they benefit. They don't care about you and about yourself and about how you're going to feel afterwards. So that's why, you know, for a lot of girls out there and guys, a lot of the time when you see social media, you see other people, whatever, you need to remember that you're not in a competition with these people. You know?
True.
And you can't forget.
Yeah. Also,
to not please anyone.
Yeah,
just
got
yourself.
lots of. I mean, yeah, exactly. You don't have.
Sorry, if you guys see me looking over here, I'm just looking at my plants. Like they're outside, and I'm scared for them.
Honestly, like, cause you know what? I'm gonna drop something my mom told me, or my mom like keeps telling me time after time. So
I'll be back. I can hear you guys. I just have to take them up.
Cool. Alright, cool. Alright, we're gonna pause it right there right now, man. But yeah, mental health is not something people should play about. There are so many different mental health issues in a way, yeah. And some people, obviously, you're not expected to know everyone, but you should at least be considerate enough to understand that it is an issue. You may not know what issue it is, but understand that this person is having an issue, and be able to consider their state of being at that moment. If you can do that, I mean, it's a good start. But yeah, what I was gonna say, some of my mom used to tell me time after time, like she still tells me now, it's like every single person is running a race. It's like a marathon. Every man is running a race. And the problem people keep making is that they want to catch up to the people in front, or they want to get past them, or they want to be like those people. But then you have other people running that marathon calm. They're taking their time. A marathon like this marathon, you do not have to win. You do not have to come first. There's nothing at the end of the marathon. What you gain through at the end of the marathon is what you learn through it. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the bell's ringing.
Yeah, every person is running their own race, to be honest.
Honestly, everyone's running
their finish line might even be different than yours.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know. A person's finish line might even be earlier than, you know, some people.
Yours,
some people don't achieve to be millionaires, you know.
Yeah. So
I'm the type of person that I even sorry. Oh.
No. Finish off, man.
Oh yeah. So like I was saying, yeah, it's like the problem with social media. It kind of ingrains in your head that you have to be a certain type of person to be successful. But really and truly, a lot of people can be happy with so much less. Like I even realized as I was growing up here, I realized like I can't lie, I don't even like living in big houses. I just feel like it's a waste of space. You know, it just even stuff like that I kind of be brainwashed over the years. You know, when I was growing up, though, you have to buy like a mansion, you have to drive big cars, you have to be a doctor. But when you know, some people can literally do even a normal 9-to-5 job, be happy with their family. Like, you know, happiness is really within yourself. Some people have nothing and still be happy, and some people have everything and probably feel like the worst people on earth. Like I remember even not Bill Gates. I think the creator of Minecraft, if I don't remember, I forgot his guy's name. But yeah, because Minecraft was basically bought by Microsoft, probably like a decade ago.
Yeah.
For like I don't remember, it was like millions and millions of pounds. So after they basically bought the development studio, he basically bought like a house in Beverly Hills. But the problem is like he came from like a normal background. You know, when he bought the house in Beverly Hills, it's like it felt so much out of space where this guy actually started feeling depressed. Like he had a big ass mansion that was worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but he never felt happy because it was like you said, materialistic things don't make you happy, just a temporary thing, you know. And you know, on the long run, you start feeling not motivated. You kind of feel like you don't have a purpose in life no more.
True.
And it's really sad. That's what I'm saying. So you know, some people that have nothing can really feel, you know, accomplished for all they achieved in their life. But some people might have everything and not. So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to happiness, it's really subjective.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people think that it's something that is selected already for you, but it's not selective, but it's subjective. So it's not like, oh, you just pick and choose what. Society doesn't pick and choose what you should be happy with, but only yourself. If you really like kind of think about yourself, if you really analyze your thinking and all of that, your conscience, you actually really understand that it's only you that can make yourself happy.
True, man. Honestly, like nobody in this world is the same. Everyone is a different person, physically, mentally, spiritually, and it's all different. When you actually find the time to understand that, then you'll be able to understand the master plan that has been set out for you. Like everything will begin. Obviously, it's not gonna go peachy straight, but then there's gonna be those rough times. But you start to understand that every road has a bump. Let me try and use that. If you look at your hands, you got like 5 different fingers. You got 5 different fingers. You got your thumbs and some fingers longer than the other. You use that and refer that to people around you. One person's looking different. One person's thinking different. You're not expecting everyone to think, oh, when you're hungry, everyone else is hungry. You kind of get what I'm saying? When you're looking to get a job, not everyone else at the same time is looking to get a job, or like a job for the same purpose. So it's all different views, aspects. So do not allow yourself to get drowned in such an environment where you feel as though you have to live up to expectations, because the only expectations are set by yourself. You should be the only one setting expectations for yourself, and I feel like that's a good start. I mean, that's not going to help you achieve or like get yourself out of your mental problems or your mental issues, better speaking, but it's a good start and people can use that to fix up.
Yeah.
But what happens to those that are in a high level, like celebrities and people of high power, when they get into these situations? I fear for them, man. Like they're expected to be these kind of moguls where they're literally impervious to the kind of issues normal people have, and they're expected to be what's that word? They're expected they're expected to be fine. They're not expected to be hurt by particular things or go through particular problems. Well, I can't understand that.
I partially blame us because, like, once a person reaches like celebrity status, I don't know, they just stop being human. Like, think of Beyonce. Like, she was good up until she became like a goddess. Like, now we cannot see Beyonce look raggedy. Cannot see Beyonce look raggedy at all. Like, if she steps out of her house, curlers in her hair, you know, just eye crushed, looking fresh out the bed, we're gonna have a problem.
That's true. Because you have to keep up with the image in a way, and it's really hard, especially on the celebrities. You know, people of high rankings, all of that, because you always have to do things to please others, and sometimes it gets to the point where it takes a toll on your household. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you actually think about it, in most celebrities, in their lives, the problem is that most of the marriages even end up failing because of, you know, it could be just, you know, mental illnesses in general that are caused by stress, and, you know, just managing a lot of things at the same time, because, you know, they're not living like a normal life like we do. Because we can just wake up and stay in bed all day, really good, but they have a schedule every single day for the rest of their lives. Again, it's like they wake up, they have to do this and that, go there, go to this place, fly out, fly in. And
if really we as consumers see like a celebrity couple and they don't look happy to us, immediately it's gonna be speculation. If you see them look at each other kind of weird, like they look like they're arguing, it's trouble here. Looks like they're getting divorced. Marriage not gonna last. Like,
still where they have to
be holding hands, kissing on the mouth, vacationing everywhere, and just in public just look so happy and so together that damn, I can't imagine that toll that must take on the relationship. Because if you're actually like fighting, or you're at a point where you're kind of not on the same page, if I have to go out on the street and hold your hand and kiss you on the mouth, I'm gonna resent you.
It's literally not normal anymore.
It's not. Like, it's weird. Regular couples fight all the time. Regular couples beef. Regular couples have silent treatment sometimes. They play fight, but you cannot do that once you're in the public eye.
From there it becomes speculation. We as a people, though, we need to understand that these people that are in higher positions, these celebrities, they still live their lives normally. As much as anyone else on this podcast, outside, everywhere we go, man. You see a homeless man, you begin to scorn him because he doesn't want to get up and get a job. But then you don't know the story behind the reason why he's homeless. You don't know whether he's just coming back from an interview. You see a celebrity that has such a good name, but once he gets into speculation of doing something negative in the community, lots of people will be ready to back him. But then the few that are actually against him and know that he or she actually did or committed this crime is there speaking up, and they're like the odd ones out. They're like the odd ones out that are speaking against this man, probably because they hate him or they don't know this person, and they begin to attack. But it's an ongoing cycle. It's a back and forth thing where you kind of understand that society only supports those that kind of supports society in a way. I'm not using the word right, not support, but kind of favors society, if that makes sense.
It's a good sentence.
People that actually present the community, you know.
You're pleasing the community, like a community pleaser.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's so many good examples as well when it comes to that. And I get what you mean, because especially, you know, those people that haven't contributed much to society, let's say even like a Virgil Abloh when it comes to Off-White. See, like, you know, a lot of people a lot of black people don't even back him up because they always thought this guy's a traitor because he never done much to the black community. Because people say, you don't employ black people, you're married to a white woman, you know, you don't do nothing for the community. So people be like,
was it Off-White's CEO of Off-White.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. He's the type of person that doesn't get much respect or support from the black community. But on the other hand, you can have someone else like, I don't know, Kobe Bryant. I don't know. There's so many mega stars that are actually supported by, stuff like this. Let's say even Kanye West. The thing Kanye West is probably the most controversial one because he's kind of, this guy loves to pick sides all the time. So it's really hard to really understand it. Because one day this guy's a Trump supporter, next thing you know, he's talking about slavery is a choice, and next thing is like, oh, I'm all about Black Lives Matter. But it's really hard to understand it, people like that. So, their reception is kind of mixed. But to be honest, it's really a headache because, the thing is, I think Kim Kardashian said that he's bipolar. So this guy can actually have mood swings all the time. So at this point, we can never take him seriously because we really don't know who the real Kanye is.
It's a back and forth kind of thing, man. It really so much speculation that now that speculation has become part of Kanye West. That speculation has become part of him, and we see it, and we just laugh at it. It's like, oh, this guy, or Kanye is going for president, or this guy, or Kanye West believes in God, or this guy, or Kanye West is coming out and running around Hollywood naked, or this guy. You kind of get. So once you become part of that speculation becomes you, and if you ever see this guy acting like a regular member of society, in a sense, it's gonna turn heads. You're gonna be wondering, like, why isn't this guy making noise, or why isn't he looking like it's not something. It's not a positive thing. It's not a positive thing where the society becomes the enemy of the celebrities they tend to love at one point.
I think we can definitely tie that point back to like the perceptions of mental health, because like, see, because he's bipolar, or there's the assumption that he has bipolar disorder, like, we don't take him seriously. We don't take anything he says seriously. And I think that is the main issue that we as a Black community have around discussions of mental health.
True.
Mental illness isn't looking crazy. It's not saying crazy stuff. It's not just doing dramatic and theatrical things. It's suffering in silence. It's having people who don't understand you, who let you go onto platforms and have a kind of breakdown in public and show that part of yourself. So people don't want to claim mental illness because look at how we're talking about him. Look at how we see him. People don't want to come up and say, oh, I think I might have schizophrenia. Because for us, schizophrenia is jumping around, it's looking kind of disheveled, it's looking a little bit crazy, it's saying things that don't make sense, when it's not always that. And we need to open up the space to talk about it properly so we can understand it and view it as something human, something that isn't something that's going to make you othered or have you standing on the outside. Like, we need to definitely talk about this more.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because like, when it comes to mental illness, it could be really silent. It's a silent killer sometimes. You can't notice it. The person doesn't have to go mad to, for you to start being worried. Like, next thing you know, the most quiet person, the most sweet person, the person even the most outspoken person can still be suffering. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't get why people are always surprised that, oh damn, I never expect this person to kill themselves. It's like, bro, you don't know what this person is actually going through. Because like, if you're not with this person 24/7, then you don't really know what he's suffering from, It could be from his relationship, it could be from his job, it could be from his family. Because, there's a lot of things that can actually affect your mental health. It could be even your own house that you're being raised in can actually lead you to that.
Yeah.
Well, don't be surprised. Because, some people even have to firm it. Especially, let's say, when you're suffering from depression at home, like maybe because of your parents or the way they're pressuring you, or even, it could even be abuse, sometimes. And when they go to school, they be quiet about it. They act normal, they laugh.
True.
And, you really don't know who around you is actually going through a lot. Some people decide to show the side, or some people don't they decide to act completely different. I'm telling you, we've seen it. People
sometimes it's a real internal
different.
problem as well, because it's like bipolar disorder. From what I know about it a little bit, you have extreme paranoia. Imagine Britney Spears, somebody who is constantly watched by the media, has her entire life controlled, has bipolar disorder, and is already paranoid. She's a picture of herself that she doesn't remember being taken in a magazine. Can you imagine that?
That is crazy.
People commenting on her body, her weight, her family, how she looks, speculating all sorts of stuff about her. And she's already dealing with a mental illness. She's already out here.
Yeah. These people don't care. As long as they make something out of it, they don't care, you know?
Sometimes I think with all this, people going through Britney Spears is an example. The causes of mental issues or mental health, mental illness. Sometimes it's actually the society.
Yeah.
If you look at it from a deeper perspective, sometimes it's not just something that pops out like, oh hey, I'm gonna have a mental issue or whatever, but then it's what led up to that mental issue. You got so many things that can cause it, and it's a small string that just snaps, and once it snaps, sometimes it's very hard to fix it. It's the society needs to understand that hey, your criticism is not always needed. I mean, your criticism is not helping. It's not.
Some people can actually utilize. Yeah, some people can actually utilize criticism to better themselves, but some people can't handle criticism.
Yeah, so not everyone can handle the criticism.
Yeah.
Not saying everyone should be like, treat everyone like a baby and be so precious with them. But hey, I mean, think about it. Take it easy. I mean, you can't come out and Kanye West. Let's use the fact where he said that he believes in Jesus. Now, for any Christian or any believer in God, that's a thing for jubilation. That's something you pray about and find out, oh, we want this to be true. But then you come out and you have some other Christians that used to obviously scorn Kanye for his music, and he's come out to say that he's Christian, he believes in Jesus, and then they scorn him as well for saying that he believes in God. I mean, then what else do you want him to do? What else do you actually want him to do? You have to think about it.
The second that you start trying to people please like that, and you worry about other people's opinions on what you're doing, you're already opening yourself up to just negativity.
But how do you think we solve that? How do you think we can take one step towards solving this whole society being against mental health or mental issues?
We need to stop stigmatizing it and associating it with craziness. And the perception of it. I think that is also a very big problem for families and for people who want to discuss their mental health. They don't want to look like they're crazy.
True.
But the second that you bring it to your friends or your family, there's this, so what are you saying? You crazy now? You mad now?
That doesn't help.
And for parents, when you bring it up, it's, so what? I can't imagine how they're thinking of it as well. The perception of your child having a mental illness, how does that look in the community? What does that say about me and my family, that somebody in my family has a mental illness? Don't think of it like that. Stop stigmatizing it as something negative. Think of it like a broken leg, Yeah,
it could be
broken
fixed.
leg isn't a permanent condition that is unrepairable.
Yeah.
It takes healing, it takes work. Sometimes it'll take medication, and there's nothing wrong with being on medication.
Facts.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's family support, sometimes it's prayer. There's different routes for healing. You just need to accept them, and you need to definitely see them as a viable option, not just ignore it and go away. If you walk on a broken leg and treat it like it's not there, you're going to make it worse.
True. So true.
That's true.
Honestly.
So I think one problem is probably just everyone needs to face the front and stop focusing on other people's lives. That's what everyone needs to start doing.
Face
Because
your
to be
front.
honest, face your front, because like what good is gonna do to you focusing on other people's life? Nothing. It doesn't bring money to your pockets. It doesn't bring any happiness into your life. It just makes you petty and more even negative in general.
Yes.
And another
I'm
thing,
gonna start using that.
I know, but it's true though. Like people really need to remove the negativity.
Fucking slang, why are you looking at me? Face your front.
Face your front. Like, I'm gonna start using that. I like that.
Yeah, people need to start facing the front. And you have to also remove yourself from negativity around you.
Yes.
You need people that support you. And
even if it's your family, sometimes like you just have to let them go. Because negativity
you have
will
to.
always
You
be
have to cut.
negative
You have to
until
cut
it
off that
decides to stop.
negativity.
Like,
Yeah, once
one
you
thing is
realize.
also like,
oh shit.
Yeah.
Who's talking?
So one thing I was also saying is like, even evil people, no person's born evil.
No.
There's people that do a lot of bad things in their lives, but everything stems from somewhere if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Because even yesterday I was reading I was actually watching an interview of a rapist, and I kind of it was really tough to watch, but like it's really like a cycle, because he was taught from his family, because he was basically being abused himself when he was a kid since he was 5, and that thing it kind of it's kind of like a continuous cycle. So if we actually teach people what's right and what's wrong, and actually have to love everyone instead of basically being conditioned by what we've been taught in our household, it can really make a difference. Because not everything you've been taught from your childhood is right, because even what your parents told you sometimes is actually BS if you actually really think about it. There's some stuff that your parents even told you doesn't make sense, but it's really about you going out your way and explore things and actually learn about things and actually take your time to be educated about certain topics. Because racism, that's definitely another thing.
Why is racism still alive?
It's being passed down by generation, because your dad told you that black people are inferior, black people are dumb, black people are monkeys. That's basically something that is conditioned by your household. It's not like a person is born racist. No, it's something that is being taught from your parents or from the people around you. It could be your relatives. So it really has to start from your house. So you have to make sure that everyone around you is kind of on the same wavelength, but also on positive things instead of being hateful and negative, because that can bring a lot of unnecessary drama. It can bring a lot of just a lot of conflicts within your family or even outside your family. Because if you think about it, if everyone in your household is really positive and loving, that love is going to spread to other households, other family members, other friends that you have. That's why everything has to start from yourself. So 100%. If you think positively and if you love everyone and you don't judge people, you can also inspire another person to be like that. So it takes just one person to make a change. So it's, you all have to think that way. You all have to think that if no one else is doing it, it doesn't mean like, oh, no one else is doing it, that means I'm not going to do it. If no one else is doing it, I don't care, I'm still going to do it because I really believe this is right. So if you think like that, you can actually inspire other people. Everything starts from somewhere. Even Jesus Christ himself, he was born in a small family, but look at what change he made in this world.
Strong.
Really, like you only need 11 disciples to make this change, and look how much impact had on this world. But that's what I'm saying. Even stuff like that can really make it can really change your conscience about how things are perceived by people.
Honestly, it's just having an open perspective, man. 100%. Strong words from you, man. But I think with that, we're gonna call it a day. It's been a really good conversation. This has really turned out well, and we all hope that everyone can take this take some time out of your busy schedule, listen and understand, open your mind to these kind of things, because you may not be experiencing what other people are experiencing, but one day you will have an experience that will bring you into what you may see as your lowest point in your life. And it's at that situation you're gonna start wondering, what am I gonna do with this? How am I gonna move? But it would do yourself a lot better if you actually take some time and learn from this. But you know what it is? This has been AfroCast, new episode coming out every week. Stay strong, people. God bless. Peace.